Chapter 6.1 Corrota. Tobias grabbed a spoon from a seat cushion, rubbed it on his shirt, and sunk it in a can of beans. He leaned back in his desk chair, turned on his monitor, and saw the last face he wanted to see. Deegan. The kid was at a press conference on Deimos. Please, Deegan said. I did what anyone would have done. Deegan had a fabricated modesty and charisma that perfectly played the press. The newsreel showed a picture of Deegan descending the stairs to Luca's lair with a disheveled Yana on the ground. Soon after, Deegan reported it to Stars, and they raided Luca's casino within hours. They found low-level gangsters like the frog-faced valet and snapped them in handcuffs. They confiscated illegally modified skiffs and mountains worth of laundered credits. But the one thing they didn't find was Luca's lair. By the time Stars got there, it was reduced to rubble. They found the hidden entrance, but the ceiling inside caved in. The stairwell was inaccessible, and everything inside was buried in the destruction. Tobias had his suspicions. It's too convenient. Luca escapes, and Deegan still gets the glory. The real question wasn't how, but why Luca let Deegan escape. If Luca wanted someone to disappear, they were gone by daylight. What's in it for Luca? And Celeste, if you're out there, Deegan said, transitioning his heroism to another cause, I promise, I'll find you. Tobias scoffed. How noble. Tobias never trusted clout chasers. Heroes on screen were only heroes when they were seen. Off-camera was always another story. Deegan likely bought his freedom and fame from Luca by promising to find him Celeste. That made him the most dangerous person to get closer to Little Red. A call came up on Tobias's monitor from Claire. Before answering, Tobias looked over both shoulders, ensuring Lil Red was in her room. Alpha stayed at the door, on guard, ready to bark if Red tried to stroll in. He clicked on the video call and answered. Hey, saw Stars was chasing Luca. We were, but he got away. Again. Claire looked disappointed. Tobias said, and after I gave you that lead, sounds like Stars is losing their edge. He slipped out of your fingers first, Tobias. Claire butted back. I heard you found Yana, though. Yeah, I did. He leaned back. Turns out she's a junkie. Not exactly the help I was expecting. Shame. Claire quickly cast it aside and got to her agenda. What happened with your ship hand? What about her? We saw her with Deegan on Deimos. He twirled a pen between his fingers. It was interesting that now she didn't call her Retta. Yeah, she was. Haven't seen her since she was on Deimos with Deegan. And speaking of that Deegan kid, he pivoted to force Claire to his agenda. You got any more info on him? Not yet. We're currently investigating him. Perfect, Tobias thought. Easy way to get Stars off Lil Red and onto Deegan at the same time. Yeah. Strange how him and Luca both just got away. Tobias sealed the bow on his turnaround. Let me know what you find on him. Yes, and when she returns, you let me know. Tobias paused. Something's weird here. Sure, he said and went along with it. I'm surprised. Ain't like you to care so much about a little girl. Well, and then it came out. Rumor is she's related to Celeste. Really? Shit, he thought. They know. Since Celeste is missing, Stars wants to secure Retta before other people find her. Yeah, Tobias lied through his teeth. I'll keep an eye out. I need you to do more than keep an eye out. Her tone changed. She's the priority now. Why is she the priority now? Tobias wondered, but hid his curiosity. Yes, ma'am. He went for a cigarette to light up. So what about the 6? I've been told to put that on the back burner. What? Retta Starlight takes priority. Tobias's heart sank. That's what I've been told, Claire continued. But you don't know where Starlight is, right? Claire's question sounded intentionally leading. Nah, I don't. Since you don't know where she is, in the meantime, I have a separate lead. Tobias knew Claire's doublespeak. Star's infamously recorded lines, and Claire was no stranger in duping them. All right, go on. When raiding Luca's casino, we found correspondence between him and Stray Dog. Tobias paused for a moment. Stella? Yes. Between her messages with Luca and your info from Jimbo, we found out she's on EO, not too far from you now. Tobias looked at his wrist cuff tracker and saw the rhythmic blinking green light. Claire always knew where he was. I'll text you the coordinates, but remember, make sure you keep an eye out for Starlight. Yeah, I'll think about. You have 3 days, Tobias. Either bring me the Starlight girl or Stella. She hung up. Tobias let out a deep sigh and hung his head low. He rubbed his temples and Alpha came over to lick his face. He patted her on the head and said, How in the hell did we end up here? A buzz came from his link, resting on the table next to him. Tobias picked it up and saw Stella's coordinates from Claire. But he also received encrypted messages from an unknown contact, and he knew that contact was Claire. Off the record, Luca had a lot of Nexus bots. A lot. Official reports said they were stolen. I doubt it. Not in those numbers. I went myself and found the messages Luca sent Stella. He sent her bots for a performance. She's grooming some young singer named Corrota. He has a plan. You know Luca always has a plan, and I think Nexus is in on it. The Vicious Six may know more. Look into it. You get Stella, and I buy time for the Starlight girl. I will get the Vicious Six behind bars again. Who would have thought Nexus buying the police would have been a bad idea? Within moments of Tobias's sarcastic response, the messages were deleted, one by one, without a trace. Claire had never been so cautious. Tobias threw his link back on the table, cocked his head back, and wondered what he was getting himself into. For the first time, the basement hangar doors slid open, grinded on their rails, and inevitably jammed. Retta wedged her hands in between, pulled the doors apart, and the blue-green glow of her baton illuminated the path forward. Jeez, no wonder Tobias never comes down here. The baton glowed and pulsed, pointing ahead and to the right. You better be guiding me to something good, Retta said to her baton. I don't need to find some stowaway or stalker after Luca slipped away. Retta entered the basement, lit only by the baton's faint glow. Stacks upon stacks of shipping containers towered over her. Cargo boxes snaked like labyrinthian walls, and Retta felt suffocated as she went deeper. You know, this is creeping me out, she said and looked at her baton. Are you trying to creep me out? The baton just pulsed and pointed her forward. She kept walking and kept talking to the baton. So you're like a magical artifact, right? The baton kept pulsing. Maybe you have a personality? A talking voice? The baton pulsed again. Something? Nothing changed. All right, how about this? Pulse once if you can hear me, twice if you can't. The baton stopped pulsing. Retta stopped. That wasn't an option. Once if you can hear me. A sudden metallic clatter came behind her. Retta twisted, drew her laser knife, and its red glow pierced the dark veil. She pointed its tip forward, and its light cast harsh, buzzing shadows. She held her breath, waiting for movement. Then came a metallic rolling. From behind the crates, an empty can rolled into view, until it stopped, dead center between the cargo. Retta shifted her eyes left and right, slowly stepping forward with her knife ready. She closed in on the can, ready for whatever or whoever hid. With her blade still poised, she knelt down, looked at the can, and found cigarette butts inside. Another clatter rattled against the ground, and when Retta twisted her knife, she glimpsed a rat scurrying along the cargo. It knocked another can off a smaller cargo box, and it rolled its way to Retta's feet. Ugh, not cool, she said and put the can back on the container. Jeez, I've gotten jumpy since Luca. Relax, Red. Just relax. The baton started glowing and pulsing again. Okay, I see you. Just give me a second, all right? She said to the glowing baton, regained her composure, and followed it. What are we even trying to lead me to anyway? The pulses of the baton grew longer, and the time between them shorter, until the baton glowed a solid, bright blue-green. The baton brought Retta to a single, lone-standing cargo box. This? She said with one hand at her hip as she spoke to the baton. This is where you led me? She drew her knife and prepared to cut the straps that sealed the container. There better not be someone inside here, or I swear. Retta sawed the straps away. Each snapped as the tension broke, and with the last snap, the container lid popped open. Retta kept her knife in one hand, grabbed the lid with the other, and threw it up, ready for someone to pop out. Nothing popped out. Retta peeked her head over its edge and saw a tap album inside. What? She grabbed the small chip with an album cover on it. She took out her link, tapped the album to it, and the data transferred over. Who is this? Corrota? The sightless sensation? She looked at her baton, and then back at her link. You really brought me down here for this? How is this related to you, or my mom, or... Her link started playing the music, and immediately, Retta was hooked by the melody. Oh. Subconsciously, she was nodding her head to the beat. Oh, okay. She tapped her foot a little bit, walking with a bit of a bounce in her step. All right, actually, this is pretty good, she said and walked back upstairs to her room. All right, Baton, I see you.